Another week at the yard has started. We've been ticking items off our to-do list like crazy, but the shipyard doesn't pause for celebrations. Now we're at a turning point. Yabá is officially a divided project. One of us is heading across the ocean while the other stays behind to face the grind alone. MP is on a critical mission as we race against time to get the parts we need before the launch window closes. Back in the yard, the list isn't getting any shorter. Every hour of sanding and caulking is a step closer to the sea. So let's get to work. Even though we tell him to. Chill. I'm having a small break from the workshop and all the fiberglass dust and all the mess over there to get my head straight on what's next. So the break I'm going to take is lovely. Our transducer broke, as in it doesn't show temperature anymore, and after a while of using it on our plotter it says transducer too hot, so it's disabled, so we don't have any depth. We've contacted Garmin and they said, okay, here's a new one. They've already sent it to us. In exchange, we do have to send our old one back. The only problem is, you can see over there, there is the transducer and we have a pipe wrench, and there is not enough space for me to get my hand in to give it enough torque. So my plan is to somehow get this massive pole against the wrench, create a little wedge and a hinge system, see if I can open it. Will that work? Will it not? Let's find out. Actually be working. I had no faith in this. God, it actually is working. Okay, let's finish this job. You guys are going in the bilge. See what the plan was, or what I was doing. And so on and so on and so forth. I'm just going to get some more WD-40 to get that loose. Maybe I can even do it with the hands later. Trustworthy mantis light that I use for absolutely everything. Anyway, whew. 5 hours later and we're still trying to get this depth sounder off. I think it's just going to be cut off, the nut.
The nut inside, yeah?
This is not happening. No, no. Last resort before we cut the nut off, because this is getting ridiculous. We have jammed the nut inside and we're going to try and turn under the boat, and we've got an extension for the pipe wrench. So do we break our teeth now on the last attempt or not? Because it's always the last attempt that something happens. We'll
That's
see.
not the attitude, sorry.
Very good. Yes.
You needed the stronger person in the crew to do it.
Okay, hang on.
¿Quieres tener voz acá? No hay que tapar la cámara.
Yeah.
Bien, bien, bien.
Only like
Yeah.
3 centimeters to go.
Really?
Le queda poquito, le queda poquito.
Yeah.
Wait.
Good.
Cuanto más a la punta empujes. Vamos, un poquito más. Está
Can
bastante.
I come down and put some tape on the thread for you guys?
Yeah, yeah. Paremos un poco. Is it? No, it cannot be that easy.
I think it's... I don't know
Yay!
if upstairs might come loose, you know?
Want me to go check?
We'll see if it comes
It's
down.
going too easily, I think.
Yeah. Oh,
Ahí va.
Very good. Nice. Very good. I can see how much force you're doing from the way this thing moves up here.
No, vinieron todas las mosquitas.
No, but the mosquitoes are killing us. Like killing us.
I'll bring you a spiral. Hang on. Very good.
We are usually not quitters, but I think this time the mosquitoes are gonna take the win because they're really kicking us out. We cannot stand being under this boat at night anymore because our light is attracting the mosquitoes. So we really want to continue tomorrow morning because this is driving us nuts. Because what would you risk to have dengue or Zika or malaria, you know? So tomorrow is a new day and hopefully a luckier one.
Uh-huh. Is this the moment of truth?
Yay!
Oh! I think it can come down now. That was a piece of cake. I only lost 2 days to this. Oh. Gotcha.
I knew that we were not gonna lose to the transducer. I knew this is a battle that we were gonna win eventually. And here we have it. It is a shame that the temperature sensor stopped working, but Garmin was kind enough to send us a new one. The only catch is that we need to go pick it up in the US and bring the old one, which for me is not a problem because that means that I'll get to visit my bestie. So I'm gonna go now to the airport, leave this place, visit my bestie, and also bring this. Bring this and also visit my bestie. Well, let's pretend my priority is bringing this, but I'm very excited I'll get to see her.
Welcome to Orlando.
little update on what's finished, what's nearly finished, and what's not finished at all. And B has just left to America to go and pick up not only the transducer that has to be replaced, which has left a 4-inch hole in the bottom of our hull, the autopilot system, which we're very, very excited to install, and the EPIRB, which goes together with the things that I have ordered now, which is a life raft and a bunch of other things. What's finished is, I would call these gaffs pretty much finished. You're not going to see me working on them much more down here. We are going to bring them up soon and install them all in place, and that's going to be really cool. We've got the other one over there as well. Once they're up, we'll get some varnish on and sand them a bit more and get some varnish, because they're just being thrown around. The welders next door have just come and robbed us from our nice boom, because they are making the gooseneck for it, and also the halyard attachments and the main sheet attachments. Later on we might change all that, add more, and so on. So we're doing it based on the one we have now. Literally a gooseneck that moves horizontally, or a hinge, and a hinge that goes upwards. So very, very cool. I have just put together our old spreaders, which were completely cracked and rotten, and that's not even the worst bit. I mean, look at the top part of it. There we go. Just to measure the diameter of what we need to make the new ones out of, which are over here. And you might not understand why these are our new spreaders. All of this here is going to be our new spreaders, but that's going to be for another day, because I really don't feel like going up right now, to be honest. It's such a pain. It is. So we're going to work on some other stuff today. We've got to finish painting the rudder post, or at least put a few more coats of paint on. We've got to clean up the hull at some point, because before you know it, and P will be back, we'll have the transducer, and we'll have to add the anti-fouling on. Really, really cool. Orlando and Lucas are now currently in the bow locker reorganizing all the wires. It's all been painted. The bow locker has been painted. The box for the chain has been painted. So all the wires are going to be refastened on really nicely. We've also added a new wire organization, cable management in the engine room, which is going to be worked on. I've just been in there all morning in both of those rooms with Lucas, cleaning it, because the engine room was so full of oil from that gearbox change, and the bow locker was so full of fiberglass. Either way, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know what I'm going to do next, but in the next scene you will see exactly what that is, because that's how I'm working right now. I'm clueless. So let's just tackle a job, finish it. We'll get as far as we can until we have to let it dry, and then move over to the next one.
When we first refit the boat, we had the entire hull and deck caulked. For those who don't know, caulking is the process of hammering cotton in the seams between the planks, sealing the gaps and keeping the boat watertight. After 2 years at sea, we felt like it was time to take another look. So we asked our good friend and skilled caulker Van der Ley to inspect the hull and redo anything that needed attention. And really, there's no better time to do it than while the boat is out of the water.
Hey, come here. Hey. Who would have thought this morning when we woke up that this was going to be my job? Me neither. Either way, I'm hardly going to go over it. I've got a palm sander with an 80 grit. This is just a test. I've got 100 grit as well. Inside the boat we've got 120. We can go down to 40 if we need to. I'm going to go over this super duper fast just to get all this murk off. We've had the caulker as well doing a few quick jobs. As you can see over here, he spotted some little areas. There's over there. And some on the other side, which you will be able to see while I'm doing this. Whether I finish it today, that's another story. If you're wondering what this hole is, that is what we have drilled so we can clean the bow locker with some water and soap and stuff so it drains faster. Either way, let's get this palm sander and just start. See how far we can get. It's pretty hot, but this side of the boat has shade now, and maybe another time we'll do the other side of the boat in the morning when there's shade on the other side. Not excited for this mask. I'm going to cover up everything. I'm pretty covered up over here. Let's go. well. However, this machine, it just sounds like the battery's dying. So doing a horrible job like this, you don't want to be spending more time doing it. So Nico has the other one identical to this up there on the gunwale aft. He's sanding and varnishing. When he's finished, I'm going to take over. I've done like just under half of the boat already. The underwater line, I mean, everything like under low down is hardly, doesn't need to be sanded hardly. It's just literally where the water line is of the boat. Now I wonder why. Maybe it's where the sun and water create more bacteria or something, who knows. Anyway, this is a lot quicker job than I thought, and I think soon we can already get the first coat of anti-fouling on. I think we have maybe 3 or 4 coats, and you need 6 hours in between each one ideally. So if we calculate back from launch day, we should maybe start, oh my gosh, just realized, start painting in like 3 days. Either way, launch day is what it is. We've got a lot to do, but no breaks, except for the one that I'm going to take now, waiting for Nico's grinder. Alright, we've got the new machine, well, the working machine that we gave to Nico, we lent to Nico, and now we're going to get rid of the old one, or at least have it fixed. We've gone up to there, which is that dirty bit, which is quite a lot for a boat, but for our boat, I think we've still got a lot to do, so let's get cracking. Look at this company. Caio, you can't stay here unless you have a face mask. Hey. Hey, Caio. That was the easy bit. Now we're gonna get under the boat. Half of the anti-fouling has been roughened up. I've removed anything kind of organic, so now we can technically go over with anti-fouling. There are a few small spots that I found that I'm going to ask Vanderlei to just tear the caulking compound out, re-caulk, just in case, you know. You can spot it now, then might as well do it while the boat's out of the water. Tomorrow I'm going to do the other half because now I'm quite distracted with what's happening with the boat behind us, and I'm really starting to feel it in my face. This anti-fouling. I had a buff mask, goggles, hat, and it's like still burning. So give this a break. I'm gonna have a shower in a bit, but check this out.
It does look easy, I'm sorry to say that. I am having a great time, but I cannot forget that I came here with one mission, which was to say bye to the old transducer because it's not saying the temperature. And the thing is, if it was just not saying the temperature, it would be acceptable because I don't need to know exactly what's the water temperature all the time. But because it kept saying that it was overheating, then we also couldn't see the depth. So that's why it's so important that this sensor works properly. So I'm here to say bye to the old and hi to the new. But of course, as I'm taking this trip anyway, I thought, why not take the chance to bring home some things that we cannot really find when we are in Brazil. So I have some exciting goodies here. I am going to start with my favorite one because this is our new autopilot. I am so excited and relieved that we're gonna have an autopilot for Yabá this year. Because our trip this year, we're gonna do the whole Brazilian coast, which is not small, and it's gonna be many miles, and I'm glad that at least we'll be able to make a coffee while on their way while the other person is asleep. Our last trip of 3 days, just the two of us, was really tiring, having to stare at the compass at night without any help. So this ring is gonna be attached to our helm and it's gonna bring us places. So of course I'm so excited to have this here. We also have a converter because the autopilot is 12 volts. An EPIRB, which is one of those things that you buy expecting to never use. But as our boat's gonna become an oceanic boat, because this year we're going to Fernando de Noronha, we have to have this on board by law, but I mean it when I say we're never gonna use this. And I almost forgot the most important one, my current obsession. Anyway, the thing is, I'm very excited that I get to bring all these goodies back home, but if you look closely, I might be in trouble. Which is exactly why I cannot believe the perfect time when we got that Exeter sent us some products to try, like this travel pack that is basically saving my life right now. Are you ready to see magic? This is their travel pack vacuum kit, and it pretty much triples the space in your suitcase by compressing your clothes. You just pack everything inside the travel compression bag and use this little rechargeable pump to remove the air. And suddenly, everything takes way less space, which is exactly what I needed if I wanted to fit clothes and boat parts in the same suitcase. This travel pack can go in your main suitcase, which is what I'm gonna do, but it's also made for your carry-on if you travel lightly. Unfortunately, I don't know how to travel lightly, but that is not the coolest thing. I think this might be it. Imagine losing the bag with everything inside. Like, imagine my autopilot not finding its way home. So with this finder card, I'll just throw it inside my suitcase and I'll be able to track it in case my suitcase decides to go on a little adventure. Instead of coming to the same airport as I will be, I can know exactly where it is thanks to this super thin card that can be inside a wallet, inside a passport holder, but in my case, together with my autopilot, because I'm not losing that guy. It's so easy to use. You just need to set it up, and on your Apple, on your Find My, you can just track it and know, like, I'm in Brazil and my suitcase went to, well, I was gonna say it, but knock on wood, it's gonna be in Brazil with me. Right now, Exeter is running their spring sale, and using our code and link, you can get up to 65% off. So definitely go check that link in the description below and use the code SAILINGYABÁ. And now that I can actually pack everything, I think I'm ready to go and bring the transducer back because Yabá is waiting, and not just the transducer but all the other goodies. I cannot wait to have that autopilot installed and the other things too, so exciting times ahead. Goodbyes are never easy. Living this nomadic life we chose makes it even harder to keep up with the people we love. But I'll always be grateful for friendships that don't fade with time or distance. I'm living with my heart full, funny memories I'll keep replaying, and a suitcase full of parts for Yabá. Now it's time to head back to the shipyard. The show must go on.
You made it. Look who's back.
Me?
MP was
Or are you
gone.
talking about this?
Yes, no. So the last, not even a holiday because it was so short, MP literally flew to the US, picked up priority number 2 because number 1 is seeing your friend Isa. This is a priority for us because we have now, what is it, a 3-inch hole.
I cannot imagine us launching with the boat with that hole. So it's time to plug it with this very fancy plug.
So she's also got a bunch of other goodies which are very, very important for the boat. However, I think it's time to get this plugged.
Yeah, like I'm very excited about the autopilot, but we cannot launch like this. So this is the first job that we have to tackle. There's one thing that happened that I didn't feel like filming because I was too upset. But then I'm not even sure about saying it because I know it's gonna sound like I'm lying. I think I have flown in my life, I don't know, 100 flights, more, I have no idea what's the number, and I have never lost a luggage. And guess what happened? Hey, just so you know, the luggage didn't make it, and I can track it. It's still in São Paulo, so I'm solving that now. When I arrived in Brazil, my luggage was fine, but then I had to have another connection flight to the south of Brazil, and my luggage didn't make it with me. I was heartbroken. I didn't feel like talking to the camera, but with the extra card, I could show to the flight company where my luggage was forgotten, and they could bring it to me on the next flight. I know that it sounds like a lie, but I promise it's true.
It was meant to be because you went there to get the extra card and you used it on the way back. No, she literally went there to go and pick up a few things and she came back without those few things.
So I didn't feel like filming when I lost it because I was too upset to talk to the camera, and I also wasn't sure about saying it because it sounds like a lie, but I have a screenshot that shows that I was here and the luggage was there, so I'm gonna use that as proof. I hope you believe me. So if before I was excited about having the card because in case I would lose my luggage it would show me where it was, now I know that it works and that it really saved my life. So now we can plug this very big hole and not sink thanks to that. So trust me, now I am a big fan.
I think this has been the longest intro to a transducer ever, so let's not make it any longer with you trying to get that plastic off.
It's taking me a while, isn't it? Take out with the
A
wire.
tiny cut from your face. There. Let's hope this is quicker to install
Then to remove.
than to remove.
We still have a couple of hours before the mosquitoes start to try to kill us, so I hope we can do it before dark. Yay! Let's hope the rest goes smoothly.
Okay, you have to go upstairs now.
Okay, have fun.
Alright. Nice to have you back.
Thanks. I'm happy to be back. Even though I miss my bestie.
Wait, you need this
Oh, yeah.
before we unscrew everything. Oh, this is so... That's how it should unscrew. What we did last time, we put loads of Sika underneath and then we put loads on top. Let's put enough on top for it not to unscrew, but a lot on the bottom for water to not get in.
I had a dream last night that when I came, the transducer was the wrong size.
Then we just make another hole.
I have a couple of things to pass to you. You ready? Let me get the vacuum.
Vacuum?
The transducer comes with this ring that is to isolate the metal hole from the nut. In our case, it's a wooden hole, so just the nut it is, and then Ben is gonna do his magic under that, and I just need to thread this in, I think.
Just put it all the way up. It's going all the way to the plotter. Hang on, not too fast. It's all in a knot. Hang on. Oh, we just took it out of the knot. I'm leaving just under an inch here so that we're going to add some caulking under this, push it up, and then do the last of the tightening and put a little bit of caulking on top as well to make sure the nut doesn't come undone. Not as much as last time. Last time we had Sika inside the hole, in the threads, in the nut, over here. And it took us an evening and a morning, going late into the night that evening, to unscrew it. So let's just do what's needed for the boat not to sink, but allow us to replace this or remove it if we ever need to.
You see there is a little arrow, so from here I know where to point it. There, keel, that way. Okay, it's pointing to the keel and it's a little bit tight.
Okay, I'm gonna come up and get Sika.
Okay.
still a little bit loose. Screw it on most of the way. I'm going to go up, get some Sika, put it all the way in here and put it in place once and for all. And then while we're at holes, get this thing in. Bring the Sika.
Okay.
And then I'll let you know when you can tighten.
When you finish or no?
I'll let you know later. Hang on. Okay, ready?
Right.
Hang on. Okay, you can tighten. Just by hand for now. Okay, last thing. Literally just a bit of cleaning. We are going to put some caulking on the nut upstairs just so it doesn't come undone, but nothing like last time, of course. Let's just see.
But you were saying it like we're gonna need to remove it soon. This one is gonna last forever.
Okay, this is a problem here. Okay.
Go.
Let's just get it out. It's gonna last forever, but I don't want to waste hours again.
No matter how big the boat is, you always gonna be needing to fit small corners and cramped areas to work. Like, it's the boating rule.
Let's go. It's always lovely working in tiny spaces like this.
Hey, I was just complaining.
You're not at boat allowed to complain.
I know.
Just get the other one quickly.
Thank you, pointing correctly. Yeah.
Might seem overkill to have two, what do you call them? Pipe wrenches, but when you need it, you need it. I need the light again.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Good. I'll just clean downstairs and we technically won't have a sinking boat anymore.
How did that go? Easy?
Like a glove. Transducer installed. Now you might say I've left a tiny bit of Sika around the bronze because we're going to paint the bronze with anti-fouling anyway. Initially I thought anything that's kind of bronze underwater doesn't need anti-fouling because nothing should stick to it. However, I've found out that is not true. So later when we're doing the anti-fouling, I'll tape off the black area, maybe give it a millimeter or two on each side of the bronze, and then just paint all the rest. Paint transducers that are bronze, paint these, paint everything. I think it's just less likely that crustaceans will attach to anti-fouling than to something like this. And also a good tip with this, if you've got a right angle on top, like so, they tend to just sit in the little corner here. So I'm gonna get a bit of Sika or maybe epoxy putty and just make sure there's no more right angles anymore, like this one here under the water, because that's where they like to sit.
Ben has done the hard part, and now I'm gonna do the easy part, which is just passing the wire all the way to the plotter. But of course there are many obstacles in the way, so I have Lucas over here that's gonna help me, and hopefully in not more than an hour this will be done. Yeah, muito bem. Aí tá. Easy peasy. I'm not struggling, it's not hot, it's not cramped, it's all good.
I'm already uncomfortable filming her, imagine her down there doing it. I'm happy doing the dirty hard work outside of the boat and stuff, but that type of things, I just get claustrophobic. Visita! We have special visit today. Not only did MC arrive, we have Yabá and Thais, who you might know from Florianopolis. Come and see the boat. Vamos pintar envenenado, vamos subir no mastro.
Vamos fazer tudo em dia.
Não, ele veio para tomar uma cerveja.
2, 3, 10, quem sabe.
MP, can you stick your head out or is it very busy? Have you seen who's arrived? MP's only down there to pretend that she's working when people come to visit. No, she's doing a really hard job.
All the wires passed. It was easy peasy. Now, last connection and see if it
I
works.
wonder what the depth will say. Will it say literally the distance to the floor? Or we can't have it on too long because water cools it.
I know, it's just to see if it's working.
What's the verdict?
That it's working.
Yeah, 5 meters. Okay, we're gonna have to adjust that somehow. Put an offset. Cool, 25 degrees, 0.8 outside. That's good. Lavi, good job. All those miles,
All those miles for these moments.
lost luggage. Unscrewing it, that took forever. Good job. Off. Okay, save it for the water.
Ê! Tchau, gente. Aí tá isso.